Well, this one is going to be about Mandy and Brett and Rick McCormick. Um, Mandy Singer obviously has been helping me, and same thing with, well, was supposed to happen with Brett Roloff, and also with Shannon Alvarado, who is Rick McCormick's girlfriend at the time that I was in California. The problem is, well, that environment prevented me from getting a whole heck of a lot done. You can also see how these people, well, especially Brett Roloff, he wants to blame me for his meth addiction. Like he magically just started doing meth when he got there, and it was to deal with a psycho girlfriend. His girlfriend was psycho. There is no doubt about that. I am not going to fucking dispute that. I have recordings of her tracking him because she paid for his phone. So then she's tracking him in her room, wondering where he's at. Oh, well, he's over here and he's over here. Brett, where are you? You know, that's not where. Yeah, he's absolutely right. She is psycho. Absolutely. The first day that I got there, like, Brett came to pick me up from, see, Bristol is right on the Tennessee border, Tennessee and Virginia border. So half of Bristol is in Tennessee and half of it is in Virginia. The Greyhound bus station is on the Tennessee side. Well, no sooner did he pick me up than he gets a message from Amber saying that she was just fired from her job. Now, obviously, there's a difference between Mandy Singer's situation and their situation, and of course Shannon Alvarado's situation. Now, in all of these situations, I'm in the subservient position. That being that, first of all, family does come first, and I have to understand that, and I do. The kids always come first, always. But then there's the fact that many people, first of all, don't want to admit. Now, thank goodness Brett did admit to his drug use. He did send a message. I'm gonna, oh yeah, I'm not recording this live because there's internet issues. Sorry about that. I was gonna post up a link, but obviously that's not a happening thing at the moment. Now, somebody who's got sensory processing issues, you know, this is a very complicated situation, and nothing is going to get done if you're busy talking about yourself the whole time. And that was pretty much the case most of the places I went. With Shannon Alvarado, her alcoholism was the cause of nearly every problem that I had there. PTSD, that's post-traumatic stress disorder. Shannon Alvarado screaming all the time, and not literally all the time. During the day she wasn't screaming. It wasn't until she got a little bit of alcohol in her that she wanted to get all screamy and blame everybody else. And that's a pretty typical narcissist, is it not? Now, obviously, with the situation with Brett Roloff screaming at his girlfriend while I was there, it didn't work out well for me. But then there's the recordings that I made while he was gone. Him and his girlfriend left their meth at the house and went to North Carolina for a couple of days. And while they were gone, I was able to get quite a bit done. Well, I was able to get a couple of 100 phone calls, calling one place that sends me to another, that sends me to another, that sends me to another. Every poor person knows this issue. They give you the runaround until you lose everything. Obviously, you're trying to get help. You're making all of these phone calls. You're calling all of these places that tell you to call places that tell you to call places. Now, sensory processing issues, especially in an overwhelming environment, it's not a decision. Here, Mandy has her own family, and there are things that popped up that, well, she's taking care of her family the best that she can given the situation. And of course, that does take away from our ability to work on the things that I came here to do. That doesn't make her a bad person at all. But she also admits to those things. She also admits to a lot of other things that Brett Roloff, thank goodness, just admitted to. Yeah, he was doing drugs. And no, I wasn't doing them. Now, one thing that I have never hidden is that from time to time I do use marijuana. Brett Roloff wanted to type at me how difficult it was to keep up with my marijuana intake. Well, this is where the story gets interesting. Clint Snell, that's Leslie Snell's husband. When I got my first bow, he gave me some arrows for it. And what happened to my bow and arrows? I traded them to Brett Roloff for some marijuana. It was a trade. He wanted the bow. And of course, it does make it easier to cope with a bunch of people screaming when you are stoned. I don't like being stoned. That's one of the reasons for not doing medications, because the medications have much worse side effects. They take too long to kick in, and then they take too long to wear off. Now, obviously, with Brett Roloff and Amber screaming, yeah, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to work on any of the things that I need to. In addition, like her and Rick, Shannon and Rick, with their yelling every night. Shannon's telling me, yeah, we'll work on this tonight. No, you won't. You're gonna get drunk. And if I say anything, you're going to snap at me like I'm a horrible person, and you're going to blame me for your alcoholism. Thank goodness she was busy blaming it on Rick. But she also wouldn't admit to her alcoholism. Oh, I only have one drink. You drink a whole bottle of wine every night. A huge bottle. I didn't even know they sold bottles of wine this big, and it's always gone by morning. With Brett Roloff and Amber and their constant drug use and constant screaming. Obviously, if they're busy doing meth and screaming, Brett is not helping me. He's not. He's not looking at any evidence. He's not fucking interested. That was a very, very scary environment for me. Just like Shannon Alvarado's was a very, very scary environment for me. And I have to keep my mouth shut because they're addicts. With Mandy, let me give you an example. She has to deal with, well, children. Doesn't have to, it's family. She could say, well, you're on your own, your parents need to take care of it and so on. But instead, she's doing what family is supposed to do. Look out for one another. If the kids are sick, yeah, Mom still has to go to work so that she can pay the bills. So you gotta have child care somewhere. If those children can't go to the daycare because they're sick, well, that does affect it. It also affects my ability to do things. It affects my ability to utilize Mandy's time for what it is that we were going to work on. Also, I understand the situation. Just like I understood that telling Shannon Alvarado about her drinking was not going to turn out well. When I tried to say something to her in California, she was not happy about it. Thank goodness Rick was there, because when she was starting in on me, Rick just couldn't keep his mouth shut. A lot of people tell me that too, Sean. You just don't know when to keep your mouth shut. Now, obviously, Brett Roloff saying that I was smoking pot. Oh no. I admit it. I've never hidden that fact. There's also the fact that marijuana does not work in most situations. If I'm all by myself, yeah, I'm not going to be smoking pot. It doesn't help. It makes the situation worse. Now, obviously, I don't know anybody here in McCook who can get me marijuana, and I'm not going to ask for marijuana. I don't need marijuana. It's not an essential. And the whole time that I've been here, I have been without marijuana. My visit to the hospital last night, was that marijuana related? No. Now, I really encourage you to go back and look at the comments from Rick McCormick and from Brett Roloff in that video. Matter of fact, I'm going to post this one up, and as soon as it's posted up, I'm going to start posting the links